Welcome back to the channel. My name's Brian Kingsbury. Today we're going to do another Brian Reads the News segment. This one is coming to us from grunge.com. It's kind of a fun one. It is titled, "This is What Happened to 90s Rock Band Mazzy Star." It's by Richard Milner. It was updated December 4th, 2020. Let's get into it. Mazzy Star struck a distinctive chord when they emerged in the 1990s music scene with their moderate-tempoed, proggy soundscape of dreamy acoustics led by the downy, vulnerable vocals of 90s crush icon Hope Sandoval. They practically defined an entire genre of lounging, languid etherealism that can be heard in current acts like Lana Del Rey, Beach House, Grimes, Dum Dum Girls, and many more. 1994's Fade Into You became the backing track of an entire generation of swooning hearts and teenage palpitations, and was featured as recently as 2016 in A24's stupendous film American Honey, as described in a Refinery 29 interview with Sandoval. After gaining fame and notoriety, though, Mazzy Star practically disappeared from 1996's Among My Swan until the reunion tour in 2013 when they released Seasons of Your Day. Mazzy Star went unheard. Since then, they performed a live show in Sydney in 2018 and dripped out some scattered singles on Spotify, but have continued to stay out of the public eye. The band, comprised of Sandoval and composer-guitarist David Robeck, was always notoriously shy about performing for audiences and much more focused internally on the songwriting process, as described in Rolling Stone. They consider their music to be private first and not something that automatically belongs to the public, which may in fact account for much of the band's window into the soul appeal, particularly Sandoval's performances. But what exactly has Mazzy Star been up to since the 90s? Well, apparently Mazzy Star never stopped writing music during their public hiatus, as Robeck told Rolling Stone. They very simply continued to compose on their own for themselves. Over time, they amassed a bunch of unreleased material, which accounted for their aforementioned 2013 reunion tour. Sandoval, in the Refinery 29 interview, describes a highly sensitive artistic process of crafting stories and music, saying, quote, "We like to take our time experimenting with different ideas and creating new sounds until we feel satisfied that we've accomplished something mind-expanding. And, quote, I like to hang out in restaurants and cafes, eavesdrop on people's conversations and collect new stories. Then I go home and spend the evenings embellishing them." For Robeck's part, as reported by the BBC, he moved to Norway and got involved with local musicians making experimental music, as well as producing songs for singer-songwriter Beth Orton. Neither of them ever intended to write anything that exploded in popularity like Fade Into You, as news.com.au states, and the band has more or less retained the authenticity of its indie California roots. Mazzy Star may have come to an actual end, however, as co-founder Robeck passed away in February of 2020. Sandoval, devastated by the loss, posted a poem about her former partner, quote, "What will we do now that you leave me here, even though the dark blue sky is still radiant and filled with the comforting sadness that holds us together." Hopefully you guys enjoyed that update on Mazzy Star. If you did, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We have another story here. What happened to these 90s video vixens by Brian Boone? Let's read this one. After the launch of MTV in 1981, music videos became a novel concept in the Reagan years. All of a sudden, there was this whole channel of clips of bands and singers lip-syncing to their hits. Videos evolved and became more sophisticated, but in the 1990s, the form made good on the promise of Michael Jackson's Thriller and became not just big-budget works of art, but a vital part of a musician's marketing campaign. Sorry, but the whole point of videos is to sell albums and singles, and the adages of the marketplace apply, namely that sex sells. Sex appeal has always been a part of rock and roll, but music videos allowed bands to make tiny, well-produced movies that were sometimes little more than an excuse to show an attractive woman in little clothing dancing horizontally or vertically. The women in these videos became cultural icons despite remaining generally anonymous. Here's a look at what those video vixens got up to after the screen faded to black. First video vixen we're going to read about is Bobby Brown. It says here, Bobby Brown had a tough time. Not to be confused with makeup tycoon Bobby Brown or former celebrity singer Bobby Brown. This Bobby Brown, who sometimes goes by Bobby Jean Brown, is one of the most recognizable music video stars of all time. Hair metal bands' videos often featured a scantily clad woman, and Warrant's Cherry Pie, one of the last big hits of the genre, featured Brown wandering around a white space in a tight red halter top, sucking on a maraschino cherries and dropping slices of cherry pie in her lap. As if a song called Cherry Pie wasn't suggestive enough, when the camera wasn't trained and on this blonde beauty, it was pointed at another one, Warrant singer Janie Lane. And wouldn't you know, these two found each other on the set. In rapid succession, Brown and Lane married in 1991, had a daughter in 1992, and divorced in 1993. After some more music video appearances, Brown segued into acting, often typecast as a blonde bombshell in small parts in things like Married with Children, Cool as Ice, and Last Action Hero. In 2013, she joined the celebrity reality circuit as part of the Canadian Real Housewives-ish Ex-Wives of Rock. That same year, Brown published her memoir, Dirty Rocker Boys, in which she detailed her recovery from addictions to cocaine and methamphetamine, as well as her ongoing battle with trichomania, the compulsion to pull out one's own hair. The next video vixen we're going to read about is Alicia Silverstone. It says here, Alicia Silverstone became an actor and an activist. The trilogy is a universally understood pop culture shorthand for the three classic Star Wars films released between 1977 and 1983. But in Alicia Silverstone's orbit, the trilogy likely refers to the massive popularity her early 90s Aerosmith videos in which she appeared. Silverstone wasn't a dancing around and pouting video vixen. She was an actress, and she proved it in the narrative clips for Crying. She deals with a nasty breakup and finds peace. Amazing, in which she portrays a virtual reality dream girl, and Crazy, in which she flees private school and has sexy adventures. Those videos found heavy rotation on the highly influential MTV, launching Silverstone to a legitimate acting career. In 1995, she starred in the thriller Hideaway as well as the cultural touchstone Clueless and stayed in the entertainment forefront. She played Batgirl in Batman and Robin, starred on the TV shows Mismatch and American Woman, and will play one of the few adults in an upcoming series based on the Babysitter's Club books. She's also a vocal supporter of animal rights and an advocate of the vegan lifestyle. The next video vixen we're going to read about is Stephanie Seymour. It says here, Stephanie Seymour is still going strong. The phenomenal success of Appetite for Destruction gave Guns N' Roses a blank check, creatively and financially. As for the former, they released not one but two albums in 1991, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. To promote those albums, many long, epic pro-rock type jams, Guns N' Roses made a series of expensive, symbolism-heavy cinematic videos connected by a loose narrative theme of love and loss. In Don't Cry, model Stephanie Seymour and singer Axl Rose brutally fight over a gun while Seymour wears a tight tank top. And in November Rain, Seymour marries Rose while wearing a skimpy wedding dress and then tragically dies. Seymour also dated Rose from 91 to 93, a relationship which descended into domestic violence allegations and lawsuits. As one of the original supermodels of the early 90s, Seymour used that goodwill and her modeling skills to be the face of various campaigns well into the 2000s. Estee Lauder named her an official spokesmodel in 2014. More recently, Seymour launched Raven and Sparrow, a high-end lingerie line available only at the Tony Barney's department store. The final video vixen we're going to read about is Helena Christensen. It says here, Christensen was an angel. The smoldering black and white Herb Ritts directed beach set video for Chris Isaak's Wicked Game still makes sexiest music videos ever made lists more than 25 years after its 1991 debut. It consists of little more than the hunky undershirts clad Isaac hanging out and making out in the sand with a bright-eyed brunette in various states of undress to the sounds of some slowed-down surfy rockabilly, portraying the latter a major 90s fashion model or supermodel in the parlance of the time. Helena Christensen, in addition to her appearance in the memorable Wicked Game, Christensen also appeared on countless magazine covers and was once one of the Victoria's Secret's top models. Christensen's been in a number of notable relationships with high-profile guys, including the late NXS frontman Michael Hutchinson, the Leonardo DiCaprio. Correction, that's Leonardo DiCaprio, Interpol singer Paul Banks, and Norman Reedus, who played Daryl Dixon on The Walking Dead. They had a son together, so he keeps her busy, as does her Manhattan boutique, Boutique. Alright, there you have it, another successful Brian Reads the News segment. When I'm starting to mispronounce things like Leonardo DiCaprio, that's when it's time to stop. But hopefully you enjoyed this look at Mazzy Star as well as those video vixens. If you like this one, you can check it out at grunge.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of fun videos up on the channel. You can go on up to Brian Kingsbury, hit that subscription button. When you ring the notification bell, you'll be notified every time a new video drops. We're trying to put out 1 or 2 new videos every day, marching closer toward monetization, trying to get to that 4,000 hours so I can make some money off of this channel. So I thank you for watching this one to the very end. Hopefully you'll be back for some more in the future. I'm Brian Kingsbury. Talk to you on the next one. Bye.